What's up, guys? How's it going? Hope you're all doing well. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe. And in this video, I'm just going to give my quick post-fight thoughts on Josh Kelly's majority decision victory over Bakhram Murtazaliev. Now, very close fight in my opinion. I think Josh Kelly won most of the early rounds. I thought Bakhram won the first round. There was one or two other close rounds. I think the third might have been quite close. I think Kelly won the second. Then I think fourth round, Kelly, he got a 10-8 round where he landed a good counter left hand, sort of like a jab counter that caught Murtazaliev quite squared up, and he slipped and fell. So he got a 10-8 round there. In my opinion, didn't actually hurt Murtazaliev, although in one of the early rounds, I think might have been the second round, he did land a very good, clean lead left hook towards the end of the round. He was, even while just landing that clean lead left hook, Murtazaliev landed a good counter right hand straight off of that as well. But I think, if anything, that was probably Kelly's best punch of the fight, was that lead left hook. I think it did get Murtazaliev's respect a little bit, which was obviously extremely important. But then also just with the way Kelly was, countering Murtazaliev, it did make Murtazaliev a little bit gun-shy, a little bit hesitant. So I don't think Murtazaliev was as aggressive as he should have been, or could have been. But obviously, like I said, that was due to Kelly landing those clean counters, sort of from angles and shots that Murtazaliev wasn't seeing. So they were landing very clean and was making Murtazaliev a little bit hesitant. But nonetheless, like I say, Kelly got off to a good start. If it was a 6-round fight, I would have been confident in picking Josh Kelly. However, with it being a 12-round fight, I did think Murtazaliev was going to be able to wear down Kelly and probably stop him around the 8th round. This wasn't the case. However, Murtazaliev did start taking over in the second half of the fight. A lot of close rounds. I think even the last 2 rounds, because I didn't score the fight round by round. I was watching it more so just as a fan. Like I said, I thought Murtazaliev was going to be able to stop Kelly in the second half of the fight, due to Kelly expending so much energy, with those big movements and using a lot of lateral movement, to the point where he was pretty much just running, especially in the second half of the fight. He was in survival mode. He had built up a decent lead, and like I said, in the second half of the fight, he was in survival mode. And I think around the 9th round, Murtazaliev finally landed one of those left hooks. He had been looking for his counter left hook, but Kelly was, very evasive and has good reflexes, and for the most part was very slick, and was able to make Bakhram miss or just not land cleanly throughout most of the fight. But Murtazaliev hit him with a good left hook in the 9th round, I believe it was, which dropped Josh Kelly. Kelly managed to make it out of the round, but like I said, for a lot of the second half of the fight, Kelly was just in survival mode. He wasn't throwing much. He was, just using a lot of movement, trying to make it the distance. And Murtazaliev wasn't able to get the stoppage here in this fight. Like I said, the last 2 rounds now, because Murtazaliev sort of took over the second half of the fight. It was very tight, in my opinion, on the cards, and even on the judges' cards, it reflected that. So going into the last 2 rounds, I think Tony Bellew's scorecard had it even. I sort of thought that was just about right, pretty accurate. But then the last 2 rounds, in my opinion, were swing rounds. And Murtazaliev was the more aggressive of the 2 guys, throwing, the shots with the more meaner intentions. Kelly in the last round, because I actually, like I said, the 11th and 12th, in my opinion, were swing rounds. Could have gone to Murtazaliev. I think I actually kind of was leaning towards giving the 11th towards Murtazaliev. I know the commentators didn't, and the judges didn't either, but the commentators were pretty biased throughout the night in general. Even in the women's fight that was earlier on the cards, the commentary was shocking, and so one of the judges in that fight as well, and he should be investigated for giving the one lady 7 rounds, who I don't even think she threw 7 punches the whole fight. But nonetheless, like I said, in this main event, Kelly was out of gas and was in survival mode. The 11th round, very close round. Murtazaliev was the more aggressive of the 2 guys. Kelly was sort of picking and tapping and trying to survive. Then going into the 12th round, another very close round, in my opinion, another swing round. Could have went either way. Kelly made Murtazaliev miss and spun him into the corner, and then threw a combination, which in my opinion, was pretty much all blocked by Murtazaliev. But nonetheless, the crowd went wild. The commentators enjoyed it. And I guess this sort of swayed the judges into giving the 12th round to Josh Kelly as well. But like I said, in my opinion, another very close round. I can't be mad at the decision. I think it was a very close fight. Kelly boxed well early in the fight. But towards the second half of the fight, I think he was just, like I say, in survival mode. But he had built up a decent lead in the first half of the fight. So I'm not mad at the decision. I think it could have went either way. Very close, competitive fight. And with Kelly being in the hometown, I expected him to get the decision from the judges. But like I said, I think it could have went either way because, like I said, going into the last two rounds, the fight was pretty much even. And the last two rounds were pretty close in my opinion. But yeah, throughout the early part of the fight, Kelly was pretty sharp. He was, landing some very nice counters, some lead power shots. He boxed really well, but with it being a 12-round fight, the gas tank issues are still there. But, his experience and ring IQ and movement was able to get him through to the 12th round and made it to the cards. And probably just did just about enough. But like I said, I didn't score the fight on a round by round basis. I was just watching it as a fan, so I can't really say who should have got the decision. But it was a very close, competitive fight. Wasn't the most exciting fight due to Kelly's approach of sort of getting into survival mode in the second half of the fight. Yeah, he really did run out of gas there, and it looked to just try and survive. Did a little bit too much holding for my liking in the second half of the fight, but not too excessive to where I say, the ref should have or had to take points off of him. But yeah, it was just a bit of a negative second half of the fight from Josh Kelly, but made it the distance and probably did just about enough. I wouldn't have been mad at a draw either. But like I said, I didn't score the fight on a round by round basis. But what were your guys' thoughts in the comment section below? Did you think Kelly won easy? I saw some people saying, 9-3 or 8-4 to Kelly. I thought it was a lot closer than that. I thought Murtazaliev did a lot better than that and could have possibly even won the fight. Like I said, I sort of agreed with Tony Value's card of it being very, very even going into the last two rounds. And in my opinion, even those rounds were very tough rounds to score and could have went either way. And like I said, with Murtazaliev being the more aggressive of the two guys, and probably even landing more shots in the last two rounds, because like I said, even in the last round when Kelly spun Murtazaliev into the corner and threw that combination and showboated and whatever, nothing really much landed. In my opinion, Murtazaliev blocked most of that and was the most more aggressive of the two guys in the last two rounds or throughout the whole fight. So close fight, guys. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were in the comment section below. I think it could have probably went either way. Like I said, didn't score it. So let me know what your guys' scorecards looked like, and did you think the right guy got the result, and where do you want to see each fighter go from here? I know Boots will probably be looking to get a shot at Kelly now. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were on this fight in the comment section below. Zayas is also fighting, so this could also be a unification fight. Let me know what your guys' thoughts were on the fight and who you want to see each guy fight next. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.